So about 4 years ago today, I created my very first LEGO stop motion video. It was only about 6 seconds long and it was pretty basic. But for the first time ever in my life, I had seen my Legos come alive. And simply put, I was amazed. You see, ever since I was a kid, I had always enjoyed playing with Legos. I would stage awesome battles in my living room with crazy storylines and intense adventures. But as I grew older, I would find myself wishing I could somehow find a way to tell the stories of my LEGO battles for everyone to see. If only there was some way out there that I could make my LEGO figures come to life. Now listen, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I do remember one day I was scrolling on YouTube and I came across a video titled How to Make a LEGO Man Walk. At first, I thought it had to be clickbait. How could you make a LEGO man come to life? So I clicked on the video, and that's when I learned about LEGO stop motion. I'm gonna be honest, I very much debated even including this in the final version of my project, but I think it would be cool if, before I talked about my journey with LEGO stop motion, I actually just taught you guys explained what LEGO stop motion was. So I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna get some Legos. So once I got home, I unboxed the LEGO set and I started building it. And I honestly hadn't really built Legos in about 5 years. And I kind of forgot how much fun it was to just sit down and build a Lego. But eventually I kind of put the whole thing together. This is what it looked like. And then I scrapped the entire thing because I only really needed the base plate, which would be the stage where I would animate my Legos. And if you're curious what my setup kind of looks like when I animate, I got my stage in front of me, and then I got my camera on a tripod facing the subject, which in this case would be like a green Minecraft zombie. Now the first thing I wanted to animate was just a very simple movement, moving the zombie backwards and then forwards. And to do this, you take a picture of your guy in a normal position, and then you slightly move him back, just a tiny bit. You take another picture. And then you do the same thing, but this time you move him a little bit more. And then you take another picture. Now, the process is very tedious, and it's very time consuming. But if you do it long enough and you have enough patience, over time, you will slowly start to see the movement form. And eventually, once you take enough pictures, and you get all the pictures and you put them together and you speed it up, it will look like the zombie is moving. So this is what it looked like when I put it all together. Now keep in mind, I have not animated in about 4 years, but I decided to try and do a little 2-second, 3-second animation, and this is what it came out to look like. Now it's definitely not perfect, the background's jittering around, I was moving the camera so it's not super smooth, but it's definitely an animation. Honestly, I was pretty surprised with myself that I could still even do it. But regardless, yeah, now you know what LEGO stop motion is. Anyways, we already looked at the first ever stop motion I made, so let's look at the second one. This one was called, I forget what it was called, but it was like a Star Wars one, and it was the first time I ever really made a set. You can see in the background there's a set, and then I had Darth Vader, but you can tell right away from the animation I do not know how to do the ease in, ease out movement. Literally every single movement that any character is doing looks incredibly jittery. This was the first fight scene I guess I ever animated, and it just looks wrong. And I think one of the coolest parts about me reacting to my animations is being able to compare how much better the fight scenes get over the course of my animating. But pretty much this one, I didn't even know how to focus the camera. I didn't know about lighting the set properly. The only thing I'd say I do like about this animation is I really like the background sound, and I like the set. I think the set I built was pretty cool. But regardless, Darth Vader, Mace Windu, they fight, and in the end, the clone trooper shoots Darth Vader, and he dies. The next stop motion I did, I learned how to use iMovie, so I was able to make a little bit of an intro. But as far as the animation, it honestly hadn't improved, and I honestly feel like it kind of looks worse in this one. Like, the camera is so out of focus, and the color just looks bad. But if I played the whole thing out, this video would be like 30 minutes. But long story short, like, it's Captain America. He like sneaks into the stormtrooper headquarters and yeah, hides in a bucket, and then it ends. Not the best animation ever. Also, I have no idea why I decided to use Let It Go as the song for that one. But in this one, I made like a little intro. At the time, I was calling my videos like the name was like Capital. I don't know why. I thought it was cool back in the day, but this was like the cool intro. And what I think is cool about this is like this was the setup I was using. It was like on my like coffee table in my living room. But anyways, then I learned how to add a voiceover to my Lego stop motions, which I think was great because it really made the stories easier to follow. The only downside is I sucked at it, so I'm gonna be cringing a lot listening to my own voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night Fight Night. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to our two contestants.
Now this animation was pretty long, but I really liked this like fire transition, and then I really liked this throw. Those were kind of like the two favorite parts of the animation for me. But besides that, like, I was slowly starting to like be able to like figure out how to like create a story with Lego and like have an ending. And this one kind of ended weirdly. The dragon just absolutely lit the other guy in fire, but like he won and there was like a clear ending. And after that, I kind of stopped like animating like full stories for a bit, and I just practiced like animation. You can see here like the animation looks smoother because I was really getting better at the ease in, ease out skill, I guess, in animation. But after that, I embarked on my most ambitious video I ever did, and actually I filmed the behind the scenes of me making the set back in the day, so I'm gonna show that now. This also was like a 10-minute video, so I'm gonna fast forward it here in a second. But in the end, it was, I don't know, I thought it looked pretty good. And the interesting thing about this was it was the first time that I was animating on clay and not actually on Lego bricks. And clay's interesting because like it's kind of easier sometimes, but also like it gets all over the Legos and it doesn't really come out. Anyways, this was like the first time I had really or ever animated like a Lego music video, I guess. So it was definitely fun to do, but it was definitely kind of like just matching up the movements to the lyrics, like hoping to make it look like the Lego guy was singing. Now, the one good thing that came out of this video was it was the first video I made that actually got like views on YouTube. It got 24,000. So it actually gave me a lot of motivation to like keep making Lego stop motions. But it also kind of like made me view hungry in a weird way. And I remember browsing YouTube and seeing this stop motion that had like 30 million, and it was this comedian Eddie Izzard, and like his like it was pretty much just like animating him talking and like telling a story. And so I was like, wait, this has 30 million views and it sucks. Maybe I can do it and like animate it better and mine will get 30 million views. So that was my next animation.
There must have been a cafeteria downstairs in between battles where Darth Vader could just chill and go down. I will have the penne alla arrabbiata. You'll need a tray. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? This is not a game of who the fuck are you. For I am Vader. Darth Vader. Lord Vader. I can kill you with a single thought. Well, you'll still need a tray. No, I will not need a tray. I do not need a tray to kill you. I can kill you without a tray, with the power of the Force, which is strong within me. Even though I could kill you with a tray if I so wished. For I would hack at your neck with the...
Anyways, that animation was cool. A little bit boring. But this next one I did was definitely my favorite. Mostly because of this initial shot, which I just thought was insane. It was one of the hardest shots to animate because there was just so many like intricate pieces to it. A lot of things were like held together using sticky tack, but I'm just gonna let it play through because This is where I felt like I was starting to get good with the stop motion, and I was starting to actually like be able to tell a story with it. Anyways, at this point you can see I've mastered focusing the camera, I got good lighting, the animation just overall were starting to look better. And this next one is one of the final ones I actually did, but I really like it because it has great fight scenes, and I'm just going to play it out and then I'm going to talk over it after.
The past is not what it seems. You must find the truth. Go north, across the enchanted lands, and into the unknown. But be careful. We have always feared Elsa's powers were too much for this world. Now we must hope. They are enough.
Anyways, I don't want to talk too long because I don't want to drag this video out, but just comparing my first ever LEGO stop motion battle to where it is at this one you guys just watched, you can clearly see that like the fighting movements look smoother, the lighting's better, there's sound effects, there's background music. I really like the quality has improved a lot, and I think that's like really cool to see. The final thing I want to talk about is just some behind the scenes stuff. So pretty much how I would animate back in the days, I'd use this software called Dragon Frame, and you can see like this is what it would look like when I toggle through every individual frame or picture that I take. How I'd set it up is I'd use this cable and I'd connect it to my computer, and the other side I'd put into my camera. This way, whenever I wanted to take a picture, I wouldn't actually have to touch the camera, so the camera would never move and it would just look a lot smoother. This is kind of what the setup looked like. Obviously, I'd have this box, which was like my good lighting, and this would be what I'd use to take the pictures. Another shot that I'm pretty proud of is this one, only because for this shot, there's literally 6 individual people moving. Also, this shot was pretty cool because I had to rotate the entire set to give the illusion that the camera was spinning around the main person, but in reality, because it's LEGO stop motion, I could just move the whole set. Anyways, the final thing I want to show is just a pro LEGO stop motion animator, so you guys can see like how the pros do it. I think it's really cool. Here's a cool clip, and thank you guys for watching. That is kind of my journey with LEGO stop motion, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed.